Hello everyone, welcome to today's recorded version of a webinar that was previously presented on January 24th of 2013. It's about service learning and technology and engaging combination. And so today we're going to go over why service learning and technology are a great combination, and I'm going to include pieces that were provided at the live webinar, as well as some of the pieces that our participants shared with us during that webinar time. So just to go over our agenda, first we're going to talk about the pedagogy of service learning and then technology integration. We're going to share some examples of technology within service learning, and then tools and resources to integrate technology into service learning. We want you to leave with a wealth of tools that you can use in your project-based learning or service learning projects. So my name is Lana Peterson. I'm a professional development manager here at National Youth Leadership Council. I handle most of the school initiatives, and under that umbrella is the Generator School Network, which is an online community of educators and students who are looking to learn, plan, and connect around service learning. When I'm not at NYLC, I'm actually in the middle of my master's for learning technologies at the University of Minnesota. So I'm learning about how to integrate technology into the classroom, as well as teach through technology as well. With me today is Marcus Penny, the GSN Communications Coordinator. He'll be helping with all the tech support and putting this together. So before we start to talk about technology, we really need to talk about Generation Z and who we actually are educating right now. So there's many different names for this generation, but Generation Z is really the most widely accepted name, especially when you consider it in relation to Generation X and Generation Y, and now this is Generation Z. We're referring to people born between 1990 and 2010, but also many people have a different take on what span this timeline is at. This generation is often referred to as digital natives, and there are many articles and papers out there analyzing the theory of digital natives versus digital immigrants and whether this truly applies across the board for this generation. And I say that because there's different levels of access to technology. We can't assume that all people within this generation have that access, have the Wi-Fi, have the tools at their fingertips. We know that the majority of jobs this population will work with during their lifetime have not yet been created. So when you start to think about that in relation to what these students will be accountable for in the future. We know that these youth are highly connected with mobile devices, which changes how they communicate as well as their access to information. So why argue about anything anymore when you can just Google it? So I challenge you also to think about what else do you know about working with Generation Z. And some of our feedback from our webinar included that they enjoy multitasking, they like working collaboratively, they appreciate immediate feedback, they're comfortable with diversity, and customized instruction. Generation Z is more socially responsible due to a greater access to a larger online information pool. They are more acutely aware of modern day challenges such as terrorism and climate change. And that's a quote from a Grail research report published in 2011. So knowing those things, we begin to think about what does that mean for us as educators? What do we need to do in order to provide the best education to this generation? And because teachers know their students are more comfortable about technologies, a lot of people don't feel comfortable because it suddenly feels like, hey, we're not on my turf anymore. The students are really in control. We really need to focus on 21st century skills and learning, considering that technology that we're even using today in schools will be somewhat obsolete within a few years. Students really need to know how to pick up a device, troubleshoot, problem solve, and figure their way around it rather quickly. This also shows a strong need for digital literacy education. So, knowing the etiquette, knowing how to be safe, knowing how to cite resources correctly. And some of our participants on the webinar encouraged the need for additional professional development, the need to bite your tongue while teaching, and letting it be a little bit more student-centered. So, as we start to talk about why service learning and technology is a great tool together, I want to introduce TPAC, which is one of the most widely used frameworks for effectively using technology within education. It's of course not by any means the only framework for this, but for our work here today, we're going to use and focus on the TPAC. Just to give you an overview, as you can see on your screen, the technological, pedagogical, content, knowledge. So you have all three little bubbles there and how they overlap with each other. The framework goes beyond seeing these knowledge bases in isolation, but to remember that there is no single combination of content, technology, and pedagogy that will apply for every teacher, every course, or every view of teaching. Today, we're going to focus on the TPK, the technological, pedagogical knowledge. So really where technology knowledge and pedagogical knowledge overlap. Technological knowledge is knowledge about certain ways of thinking about and working with technology, tools and resources, how to apply that technology, also being able to recognize when technology can assist or impede on achievement of a goal. And pedagogical, at the root, is really how students learn and how teachers teach, but also includes classroom management skills, lesson planning, and student assessment. So when these two powers combine, you get the technological pedagogical knowledge, TPK, an understanding how teaching and learning can change when particular technologies are used in particular ways. This includes knowing the pedagogical affordances and constraints of a range of technological tools as they relate to disciplinary and developmentally appropriate pedagogical designs and strategies. And that is a quote from Kohler and Mishra, published in 2009, and you can find out more about the TPAC model by going to tpac.org, and there's a wealth of information if you're looking to explore this more. But basically we're saying that the service learning would be the pedagogy, and then the technological knowledge is knowing those resources, knowing when you can integrate those tools that we're going to share later. We at NYLC would encourage you to use service learning as your pedagogy, but understand that it is, of course, not the only way to integrate technology into your classroom. There are many ways that technology and service learning strengthen each other, many parallels and things that they have in common. We're going to outline a couple here today. We see service learning and technology both as engagement strategies. The majority of service learning research has shown this as well, and one could argue that engagement will help students get to school and take ownership over their learning, which would later lead to academic success. Technology as an engagement strategy being that so much of a young person's life revolves around technology, instant communication, and instant access to information, that anything less could feel constraining within the classroom. So next we have high-speed service. Technology within service allows students' efforts to go farther, faster. Not only can we make a poster about a food drive, but we can also make a graphic poster. We can send a PDF through an email. We can utilize social media, etc. We can Skype with a food pantry coordinator, seeing that change and impact. So neither technology nor service learning in the classroom are a silver bullet to education reform. Service learning within itself cannot promise the world, neither can technology. Service learning can be done poorly, and we've seen this based on evaluations. Just by having access to technology within the school will not change test scores, and we've also seen this. Back to the TPAC framework, educators need lots of quality professional development and education to be effective in both of these areas. We also see a wide range of adopters for these practices. In some schools, you have teachers who naturally think globally and how to connect their teaching to real-world situations. You also see teachers who have enjoyed technology their whole life, and so of course naturally you're going to see technology within their classroom. And then of course the other end of that spectrum. Both reforms are often mistaken for add-ons. versus a glue that can hold their varied initiatives together. This often has a lot to do with how they're presented and integrated within the school culture by administrators or other school leaders. So, another thing that these two practices have in common is that they both have a set of widely adopted standards. For service learning, we have the K-12 service learning standards for quality practice, the 8 standards that are really methodology standards. So when service learning is done well, they incorporate these elements. For technology, the tech education standards were created by ISTE, the International Society for Technology and Education. And you can go to iste.org/standards to learn more. These standards are called the NETS, the National Educational Technology Standards. These are not methodology standards. There's a separate set of standards for students, teachers, administrators, and coaches, and computer science educators. The National Educational Technology Standards are the standards for learning, teaching, and leading in the digital age and are widely recognized and adopted around the world. The benefits of using these standards include improving higher order thinking skills such as problem solving, preparing students for their future in the competitive global job market, designing student-centered, project-based, and online learning environments. It sounds a lot like service learning, and guiding systematic change in schools. So these two standards coming together, the K-12 service learning standards and the ISTE standards, do not compete. They actually support each other as well. So they have different purposes. ISTE is really the organization to go to if you're looking for technology integration professional development. And so we encourage you to visit their site for more information. Okay, so now that we've talked about these two strategies and how they fit together, let's look at what this looks like in practice. In service learning, we know that there are different types of service and how participating in that service affects our students. So the first being direct service. And one example of integrating technology within direct service is after learning about a specific technology tools or software in a class. This could be a computer applications class. Maybe you're learning about Word. Maybe you're learning how to edit videos. Maybe you're learning how to keep a budget within Excel. Those students would go and teach others, possibly senior citizens, possibly their peers, possibly younger students, on how to use that same technology. And so those students, the original students who are learning, are really embedding their learning by being able to teach others how to do that. So one real-life example of that is computer literacy classes for the community. This is a Generator School Network member project. So students in a computer literacy skills class went and taught other adults in the community basic computer skills, including Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Publisher. It connected to their English with a reflection piece and other subjects with computer projects. So this is a great example of what this could look like in practice. And be sure to check out Kara's project on the GSN for more information. Next, we have indirect service. So, for instance, after learning about homelessness through a novel in English class, students can organize a food drive using social media, engaging peers and community members. So this is that idea of serving more people faster. It's one thing to put up posters around the community, but it's another thing to start an email chain or an event on Facebook to let people know, possibly turn it into a social media contest, see how many people you can get to like. An example of this in real life is the Dream Machine Recycle Rally put up by Tara Kecke. So we see a lot of projects based on recycling, and this is another project, but they used a website called greenopolis.com as a way to organize and to challenge their peers in relation to recycling, and there's a lot of big names and experts around the field who are behind that greenopolis.com. And so this is a way of using technology in an indirect service project. And then the third one is advocacy. So after hearing a speaker from a local animal shelter talk about animal cruelty, students can create a public service announcement on YouTube to educate others. In the advocacy realm, we see a lot of videos, and by no means is videos the only way to advocate for something that you believe in, but we do see a lot of public service announcements through the advocacy realm of service. An example of this is the Middle School Youth Council. So basically, there's a middle school youth council led by Cindy, and she allows her students to kind of choose what area that they would like to do a service learning project on, do their research, and then provide a service. And under her project, she has a Make a Difference video, which is a student reflective video and an advocacy video on multiple sclerosis and what that means and how others can help. And so we see this as a great advocacy video for MS. And of course, there's many different tools that we'll go over to that you can use to create videos within your classroom. So those are 3 ways that technology can be integrated into service. But let's talk about technology and reflection. We know that reflection needs to happen before, during, and after, and we really want technology in reflection to be cognitively challenging. And so I want to bring up one of our favorite projects on the GSN. This is Judy Lander's project called Community Connections. It was a semester-long interdisciplinary unit on libraries and literacy. Basically, her students learned all about libraries, learned a lot of vocab, and created a little free library, which you see them carrying right there through their school. And so each time that the students went out and did something, they went to the library, to the public library, they went to the hardware store, they heard the speaker from who created Little Free Libraries. They did voice audio reflections on GarageBand. And then at the end of the semester, the students, and I'll let you know these are first grade students, put together a YouTube video as a reflection. And it was really amazing. And you can also find that link to Judy Lander's video on the GSN, and we'll send that through. So now think about a service learning project that you've heard of that utilized technology, and remember to really think about technology from a general perspective. Sometimes we don't think about, how we think about these things on an everyday basis, and PowerPoint's just another way of life, but no, it's really not. It strengthens what our students learn and their ability to take ownership over these projects. So now is a section of our presentation where we want to go over specific tools that we believe can strengthen service learning projects. Just to let everybody know, this is not an exhaustive list whatsoever. I picked these tech tools because I know that they at least have a free version, and they're tools that I've personally used either within my master's program or here at NYLC. We have a long list of tools that our members have also included and wanted to share with us that we'll be sending out on the resource document. So be sure to find the topic under the GSN to find out more about the tools that were shared during the live webinar. First, we have Animoto. Animoto is a great tool to create videos. You basically upload pictures, and you can upload video and text to create a quick video. The free version gives you a 30-second version video, and Judy shared with me, the teacher I was just sharing about her project, that this was a great tool for her students that were nonverbal, because they didn't have to speak. They could use their typing, or they could just not include any words at all. Next, we have Go Animate, which is a great tool for students to create an animated video using their dialogue, either from language arts or some other content area, to really come to life. And so it's a way to make what could seem like a pretty simple language arts project really shine through and let the students pick out the characters and the background. And again, there is a free version, and there also is a paid version as well. Next, we have WeVideo, which is not actually a tool that I've ever used, but based on the reviews, they said it was, if Animoto and iMovie came together, it would be that version and a free online editing tool. So it's another video creative tool that you can check out to create free videos with your students. And then of course you need a place to upload these videos, and I know that a lot of schools block YouTube, some don't. There's YouTube, there's Vimeo. YouTube has an education side to their site now, and then there's also TeacherTube. And so these are not, of course, an exhaustive list of where you can post these videos, but posting them so that they can share, and then possibly using those sites to embed it within your sites or anywhere you want to share it. Next, we have charts and organizers, and especially when you're in the planning section of service learning or the organizing others, the indirect service, charts and organizers can really help students get going. And so a couple tools that you can use. This one's called Lucidchart, and on the GSN I see a lot of teachers upload graphic organizers that they created probably in Publisher or Microsoft Word, and this allows students to create their Lucidchart on their own, and you could use this in planning events or showing where you think a problem or solution could land. Next, we have Infogram, which currently is still in a beta version, but basically you can take what you would do in an Excel to create some sort of a table, and you could do that on Infogram. It's super simple, and then it looks like you are some fancy graphic designer because it makes what was very simple information looks very beautiful. It was created for teachers in order to hype up their presentations, and so if you know Excel, you will know how to use Infogram. Another tool that I love to use is Doodle. So Doodle is a way that you can have kind of a meeting organizer basically, and so everybody puts in their name, the original organizer picks out the dates that they want everybody to respond to. This is great if you have different committees that are meeting within your service learning group. If you want to meet with outside partners and you have several partners trying to find a day that works, no longer do you need to have a long email chain or a long discussion chain about when people can and can't meet. It's very straightforward, and I find it using it for my personal life a lot as well too. So now we have Glogster, and Glogster is basically an interactive virtual poster. So students can upload images and videos. It can be used to deliver more information or a great assessment tool. Not all students feel comfortable on camera, and this is a great alternative. Glogsters can also be worked on collaboratively, so you can have many different students working on it at once. But you could see how this could be used in an advocacy project as well. Rather than creating a video, it could be lots of different links of where people could find more information about a specific topic. Then we have Poplet. Poplet is basically if Glogster and maybe Lucidcharts came together, so it's a graphic organizer, but they're interactive, and so you can click on the pictures and the videos to find out more information. Again, can be worked on collaboratively, so you can have a group of students working on it all at one time. So next we have feedback tools. We know in service learning that we need to gather information from our community, both to identify a problem as well as to monitor progress. So here's a few tools that can make that happen. Here's a new tool called Mytonomy, and basically students can pose a question and then get feedback in video form. Many college and high schools are using this tool, and it's a great way to get verbal feedback from a large, diverse audience. Next we have Poll Everywhere. So a lot of times you see text polling all the time, and there's many different text poll tools, but this is personally the only one that I've used, and so it's just a free way to include polling. I've seen people even within their PowerPoint include in a text poll, and they're able to get instant feedback from their live audience on what they think, or you could play a game using a text poll as well. So it's a really cool tool to get students using their mobile devices to interact with the classroom. Next we have SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey's been around for a while. They have the free version and then the upgraded version, but usually for student purposes the free version should suffice. Creating surveys possibly of community members, their peers, teachers. You can send the survey far and wide. This is what NYLC uses for their purposes for evaluation and research as well. So next we're going to talk about learning management systems. Learning management systems can be used to lead an entirely online class to having a casual online community forum. There are hundreds of LMSs to choose from, and many do require a charge, but to cover a few that don't, one of my favorite ones is Edmodo. This is kind of the home site of Edmodo. You have your own profile. As you can see there, you can have alerts, assignments, quizzes, polls. You can be talking to each other, creating little groups if you want to do breakout groups as well. So you could also give grades through Edmodo as well, and it is free. Next we have the Moodle, and this is actually a screenshot from one of my Moodle sites for class. It's pretty widely used by universities. It's an open source management system, which means that modification of the software is encouraged by anyone with the skill set to do so. It also means you don't have a large overarching company leading the charge. It really is a comprehensive environment for online learning. Some teachers choose to lead their whole class through Moodle, and some just choose to use it for the homework portion or the online portion of the class. Next, we have NYLC's online community, the Generator School Network. I wouldn't categorize the GSN as a learning management system, but more of an online community, open to students 13 to 18. You may not need all the elements of a formal learning management system for your purpose of organizing people. The GSN offers groups that can be public or private for student privacy, discussions, documents, pictures, video uploads, and project sharing. So in the document, we have other LMSs that you can look at as well. So now we have some other notables. One is Today's Meet, which is really a microblogging site. So for instance, maybe you're meeting online all day, maybe you're in a training. You can create a Today's Meet, which will last for a week. And basically anybody can just go to this website and it can turn into a live chat room. I've also seen this for live presentations. So maybe people don't feel completely comfortable raising their hand and asking the question, but they might feel a bit more comfortable typing it in and then having you answer it and just checking it as you present. The next tool is VoiceThread, and VoiceThread can have so many applications. This is a VoiceThread that I created for a presentation for one of my classes. Basically, you either upload PowerPoint slides or JPEGs into the VoiceThread, and then from there the presenter can comment on them either by typing, through audio, or through video. So in this slide you see the video or the audio piece going up. You can see the volume. And then you go along and other people can come in and comment or work collaboratively with you. For instance, in this presentation, I was pretending to give a presentation on blended professional development to a school board. And so then I created this presentation and my classmates came in afterwards and pretended to be the school board and asked me clarifying questions or challenged some of my ideas that I was presenting. So it was a really fun way to do role playing, which sometimes can feel a little strange. And then this is Delicious. So Delicious is a social bookmarking site. So oftentimes we bookmark all these really fun things on our computer, and there's no easy way of sharing that. So if you want your students to collect research through social bookmarking and looking at different blogs, looking at different sites on a specific topic, then a social bookmarking is a great way to see people's progress or to share resources that you like to learn. It's a great way to introduce professional learning networks to your students and the idea of personalized professional development and finding what you need through social media. Also, we have Google and education, and Google fits in so many categories. I love working with Google within education, and you see a lot of school districts moving to being a Google district, which really can streamline a lot of using their apps. You have the Google Docs, the Google Calendars, the Google Groups. They've made it really easy to create websites within Google as well. It's a great way to get a lot of people online organizing together. And then Google has also created the Google Chromebook, which is basically a small laptop. It's pretty straightforward. They're known to be durable. and cheap as well. So Google and education, there's just so many things you can do within Google. And then for professional development resources, if you're looking for more information specifically on integrating technology within your classroom, we always love Edutopia and what Edutopia is putting out. And Edutopia has a lot on project-based learning and service learning as well, so you can see how they've suggested integrating the two topics together. Classroom 2.0 is an extremely large online community of teachers integrating technology within the classroom and technology integration specialists. And then ISTE, as I talked about before, ISTE has a great conference every year too that I will definitely recommend. Has over 20,000 people attend. And as we discussed before about what kind of implications technology integration has on your classroom, digital literacy is a really important topic. I love using the Common Sense Media suggestions for teaching digital literacy. They have a ton of lesson plans that you can use that are age specific for integrating the different categories of digital literacy within your classroom. And then another place which doesn't necessarily fit into one category is BrainPop. BrainPop has a ton of free videos that teachers can use within their classroom to teach about all different subjects, as you can see on the screen. But in relation to digital literacy, they have a couple videos about digital literacy and digital etiquette that you can use when integrating some of these tools into your classroom. If there are any questions, we encourage you to email us here at NYLC or to post within the GSN topic that is linked currently on your screen. We remind you of all the tools and resources that NYLC offers. Of course, like I've said, the gsn.nylc.org. We have the LIFT, which really brings the K-12 service learning standards to light, and then nylc.org as well. And if you do have any questions or suggestions, if you have other tools that you want to share, please do contact me, Professional Development Manager. I'm much better at my email than I am by phone, so I encourage you to contact me that way. We hope that you found this webinar resourceful and you see ways to integrate technology within your classroom. Thank you for watching.